just some information that very loosely ties to this review. If you're on Fragrantica extensively looking at Middle Eastern smells, eventually you'll start getting adverts on your page for meeting single Arabic women. So just so you know. And now you know, and now you've learned. So we got this Al-Rehab fragrance that's not really talked about much in the community. Obviously, you can tell by the title that we are talking about
Saat Safa.
Saat Safa here.
The juice kind of matches my shirt today.
You can see it's kind of a yellowy. And you got the trademark Al-Rehab cap up top. You know, sprayer like this. Fits on there pretty snug. So guys, we got this with Silver a long time ago. We blind bought them both. Silver we were just looking for, like, I mean, it was so cheap and people were comparing it to Silver Mountain Water. We had to try it and see what was up. Of course, it's awesome, but nobody talks about this shit over here. And this shit, to me, is equally as awesome. It's just beautiful, incredible. Yeah, so the bottle, the gold and the green is a very, like, classic, obvious, well, I guess that's copper. But, I mean, it's a very obvious, like, Middle Eastern set of colors. It's obviously shaped to look a little oriental.
My beef is that cap, man. That cap is awful.
But it fits so snug.
I know, but it just feels so gross. Give it, like if you squeeze it too hard, you're gonna bend it forever.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of a poopy.
It's poopy. I'm just saying.
But it doesn't leak like a tower bottle would. And this cost us considerably less than a tower. So, like, looking at this guy, it cost you like $6 to $8.
I also really like the frosted glass.
Agreed.
TBH on this thing.
Agreed.
TBD. So, bottle, I mean, not great, not fabulous. I maybe give it 6.73.
No, really. I mean, the bottle?
Yeah, I'm talking about the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, probably like a 6. You know, it looks really good for what it's supposed to be.
And for $8.
And for $8, gets the goddamn job done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hideous. It's not fabulous.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
But if you are to buy the bigger bottle I would give, check this out. The bigger bottle I'd give like a 9.
It's a little prettier.
I think it looks awesome. But that's not what we have, so we're going to review this one.
So as far as the fragrance goes, so it's been a while since you've worn this. However, the scent of it is so unique and so strong that I remember what it's supposed to smell like and what I remember thinking about it. And the thought I always described it as is I feel like you're on a cloud. Like, it's really light, it's really fluffy, it's warm, it's just like a partially cloudy day during the summer, and you just happen to be lying on top of a cloud, and it's just, that's how I always felt about it when I smelled you when you were wearing it. I know you say it goes off like a bomb, but
yeah,
man, I always, when I smell it, it just feels so light and fluffy.
And that was like the opposite reaction to what I had. Like the very first time I had this was like the first time my nose had ever smelled anything close to oud, anything that was supposed to be interpreted as oud. And so I sprayed it like once on my arm in the room when we got it, and like, oh my god, it filled the whole apartment up.
It did.
And it was just like punching me in the nose constantly, and like it opens up smelling like very medicinal. The first second you spray it, like I thought Band-Aids. I thought like just, that's what I thought, Band-Aids. This smells like Band-Aids.
You did. You were not a super big fan of it at first.
Yeah, well, I was just shocked by it. I had no idea what to expect. I just, like, I don't even know why we blind bought this one with Silver. We were like, Silver and this one. Because, I mean, it was so cheap. We're like, we have to pay for a little more just to make it, like, worth its while to arrive. So we were just like, also this one. And this came in the mail, like we said. And, yeah, applied it. And at that point, it choked me out. I was like, I've never had a fragrance do that to me before.
I mean, okay, you're right. It's a very pungent, not in a, I mean, it can be. It's a very pungent fragrance. But I don't know, I mean, it smells so sweet and so soft and so cuddly.
And that's, keeping in mind, oud is something she loves to death. So to people who don't like oud, this might be a bit much. And I'm not saying I fall in that category. I have since come to love oud. Not
I've
as much
always
as her.
loved oud.
She loves it. From day one, she was like, what is that smell? But, yeah, I mean, it's a rose-oud combination, but it's done up like a lot, like, I'm not sure how to describe it. It's done up like most oud rose fragrances never dare to step into. It's medicinal at first. I would call it spicy. That's probably from the saffron underneath. And I think that's because a lot of the oud rose fragrances that we encounter these days kind of either try to take it very literally and just be like, here's oud, here's rose, done. Or they're fragrances that are like, we need to be really different and unique in the rose oud game because it's such a densely populated subcategory of fragrance that they try to put their own little spin on it. And I think this just smells super like, and it's weird to talk about because I've never been to the Middle East, so it's weird to say this smells super Middle Eastern, but I would say like this smells to me very exotic, very like.
So if we're ever
unique.
Watching like a Middle Eastern movie, we can spray this around the house, and then it'll be like 4D or 4D TV.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It is just. I mean, and it's not afraid to smell a little dated. In a way.
Oh
like,
yeah,
in a
it's
weird
definitely
way.
not like a modern.
No, it puts like a ton of oak moss up front, right behind the rose. That kind of makes it like a green, maybe like a non-fully bloomed rose.
You know, it's like I'm kind of skipping ahead, but it like colonialism. You know, like a Englishman who's colonizing, wearing a tweed jacket with like a, you know, his like monocle or whatever. I can see him wearing this.
Yeah, see, it's
You know?
like it's like you're living in the early 10s, 20s, and the grandpa who went out to these various great adventures has a secret bottle of this hidden away on his shelf, and you being like the very adventurous and curious 12-year-old sneak up and go, whoa, and just like, you know.
And then you never try fragrance ever again.
Yeah, because you tap out.
Yeah, at that point.
You're like a 12-year-old. What else do you expect?
Yeah, I enjoy this a lot.
And the real question is, how do you get a fragrance this strong and like this beautifully composed and this almost like actually oudy smelling? Like I wouldn't smell this and go, that's natural oud. I don't think that it is, but how do you get it smelling so very close at $8? I mean, we're keeping in mind this is 35 milliliters, but fuck, I don't know.
It's an EDP.
Yeah, and it's an EDP. Mask, though, sells like $30 fragrances for like $175.
Trust us, we know.
So I'm asking the question, how do they do that?
Magic. If you watch our channel at all, we don't necessarily go for mainstream smells. Yeah. We like things that are off the beaten path a little bit, and this is definitely off the beaten path. And I think that's what makes us drawn to it. Is that it is a little...
I mean, yeah, it kind of smells... I mean, we all know what grandma smells smell like. And
this
we know
is not
what
grandma smell, though.
And we know what grandpa smells smell like. They're just like oak moss bombs. But I wouldn't call that what either... I would call it a very old smell, though, which is a strange thing. I wouldn't associate it with old people, but just an old smell.
If you're just starting out, I wouldn't necessarily say no to doing what we did. Buy silver and buy Safa and give it a shot.
Here's the one stipulation I would say. I think for most people, this would be pretty hard to wear. Most people, I think, who are so used to being in the world of designer fragrances and smelling folks who are wearing designer fragrances, this is really strange. This is really, like, different territory. And I think for someone who maybe has never even smelled oud before, kind of like I said, it'll start off smelling really medicinal. I don't think a lot of folks are going to want to smell like that. So I think for a lot of people who maybe haven't delved into kind of more different fragrances yet, this one might be a bit much, but I think I'm like, in a lot of people's beautiful high-end collections they've spent a lot of money on, you never see this one around, and it's kind of a wonder why, because it is such a beautiful and elegant fragrance that only costs you $8.
$8.
Why not, guys? What would you rate
The fragrance?
Safa?
An 8.2, 8.3.
I think that's right. I can't really factor the price into it. It's not something. That's not the way my mind works. I don't really think like price should make you feel any which way about a fragrance. It's just, is the fragrance good? Yes or no. Doesn't matter how much you bought it for. Could have gotten it at a flea market for $1. You know.
Buckaroony.
Who would wear it though?
So Horace Slughorn is the potions professor from Harry Potter universe, and I could see him on his travels trying to pick up new potions ingredients and stuff that he stumbles across this and just loves it and wears it around, especially in his younger days when he's like first starting out, and his outfit matches what I think this person would wear. So yeah, I'd go with Horace Slughorn from Harry Potter.
I think Indiana Jones himself would wear this.
That's fair.
You know, because like, I don't know, Indiana Jones is always, he's exactly what we were kind of describing, right? He's like, he's the old father figure who was off doing crazy stuff and like visiting these exotic places, and of course it's like,
gives birth to Shia LaBeouf.
And of course it's kind of like it's kind of like this Western weird image of like recreating the whole Middle East just to be this like fun palace for some dude to run around in and bring back like cool memories and shit, which is kind of fucked up.
People with like, what are those, like scimitars, or what are those things called?
It's just really fucked up. Nevertheless, I think Indiana Jones would wear, despite the fact that I think it's a very pure Middle Eastern smell rather than being a westernized.
But he goes to the Middle East a lot.
Yeah, it's true, but it's still it's like a fake Middle East. Is all I'm saying. It's like a bunch of dudes who have never left California, got inside their like fucking studio apartments in Hollywood, and they're like, what's in the Middle East? It's brown people and swords. That's it. And then they made Indiana Jones, and like. There came out a couple years later. They're like, we gotta steal shit from the Middle East. There's brown people, there's swords, that's it.
Camels. Can't forget the camels.
Pyramids. But anyways, my point is, it smells Eastern. It's fucking awesome.
Da 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 da.